He did another long factor? Oh god.
So, you already know, drama script is Saturdays. I'm the host, Game Fiend. Let's just jump right into Raw. Raw was pretty mediocre this week. Nothing much happened that stood out to me,
Yeah.
to be honest. I mean, the main event was Punk, Bryan, and Jericho versus Mark Henry, David Otunga, and wow, I forgot the last person. Oh, and Dolph Ziggler. Wow, how can I forget Dolph Ziggler? He's been jumping straight to the moon in these past few months. Kind of embarrassed I forgot about that. But before we get to the main event, what happened during the show? One of the things that stood out during the show was Zack Ryder is no longer U.S. champion because he's playing off the injury angle of what Kane did to him the week before, which was chokeslam him off the docking lift. So he shows up on Raw. He has his ribs all taped up. His back is all taped up. And John Laurinaitis puts him in a match defending his U.S. title against Jack Swagger. And a lot of people are upset about this, but I'm not really. I'm fine with it. I mean, he's going to get his title shot back. I don't see WWE just have him losing the belt so quickly and then not giving him a chance to get it back or not giving him the title back at all. We'll just have to wait and see it play it out. And once again, it's future guaranteed Raw time for him because he's gonna quote unquote fake heal up because this injury is scripted. He's gonna quote unquote fake heal up. He's gonna come back on Raw. He's gonna probably have a feud with Jack Swagger, which is gonna build both of them up because it actually gives Jack Swagger something to do, and hopefully WWE has him retain. But during the match, Jack Swagger had to powerbomb him 3 times for him to win. For a person that's supposed to be already injured, Jack Swagger still had to do his finisher maneuver 3 times to still get to 1-3 victory. So that shows you how WWE doesn't just want to just mow him over. Because if WWE just wanted to just mow him over, it would just say, okay, Zach, you're gonna go in, he's gonna powerbomb you, and it's gonna be over 1-2-3. It's gonna be a 20-second match. No, he actually had some fight in him during that match. So I don't think it's over for Zack Ryder yet. People just need to calm down. When it's not like calm down and just wait to see what happens. It's like, well, what happened to Christian who lost the belt in 48 hours? But then again, you had Big Show who lost the title in 40 seconds. So yeah, moving on. Other things that stood out to me in Raw was Cena and Swagger. John Laurinaitis put John Cena in a match between Jack Swagger, even though Jack Swagger already had a match early on, and we saw Angry Cena. I am a big fan of Angry Cena. I don't know what it is. I think it goes back to when he was a heel, when he was always angry, and you get to see like the evil side of John Cena. Like, I am a fan of Angry Cena. It's just all the emotion and rage that he's had, and it looks like he's sort of embracing the hate a little. This match wasn't a match. It was just a brawl. John Cena just came out and just put a full-on assault on Jack Swagger. The match never officially began to begin with. And John Cena almost ended Jack Swagger's life with the steel steps until Kane interrupted on the Titantron with his hate promo. Other things that stood out, now we're going to head to the main event. But before we go to the main event, another victory for the Funkadelic Brodus Clay. He had another fantastic match against JTD, which I didn't know he was still with the company until this match. Well, nice to know he still gets a paycheck every week. Must still be on Superstars. I think I need to watch Superstars since it looks like Drew McIntyre is heading down that road to being a Superstars only wrestler. But I'll save that for SmackDown. But another successful win for Brodus Clay. Hope they continue building on his character. But now moving on to the main event. It was CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler, Mark Henry, and David Otunga. The match was going on very well. Both teams going back and forth. Chris Jericho cheering on the fans, trying to get all the fans hyped up with that smirkish smile out throughout the whole entire match. And then Jericho gets tagged in. And then Jericho is cheering on the fans, is like, to the left, to the right, to the opposite side of the ramp. You guys want it? You guys want the Lion Soul? You guys want the Lion Soul? You pointing out, yeah. Hot tags in Daniel Bryan and leaves. And then cheers on Daniel Bryan while he's backing up going towards the ramp. And then leaves. Yep. That was awesome. That was amazing. Jericho knows what he's doing. So now it's a 2-on-3, and then Daniel Bryan gets taken out, and CM Punk needs to make a tag, and then Mick Foley, who had an outstanding promo with Dolph Ziggler at the beginning of the show, because Mick Foley wants to be in the Royal Rumble because he wants his kids, since they're a little bit older now, he wants his kids to see him in one more match, which will be the Royal Rumble. So earlier in the show, they had an outstanding promo. So Mick Foley rushes down to the ring as a replacement for Chris Jericho, and CM Punk tags him in, and Mick Foley goes to work. He has the punches. He had the punches on him. Wow, God, this match really is leaving me right now. I can't believe it. Well, he had his signature that signature sound that he always makes when he punches people in the corner. I think he was punching Dolph. Yeah, it was Dolph in the corner. Yeah, he has this signature the sound effects that he makes when he gives punches in the corner to Dolph Ziggler, and then he did the signature double underhook DDT, which I haven't seen in years, and him and Punk get the victory. And then John Laurinaitis comes out and reverses the decision. And then Punk snatches the mic from John Laurinaitis. Punk exchanges very, very meaningful and truthful words, because I wasn't around during John Laurinaitis' WWE career, but looks like he really did suck. And now that I'm looking back at clips, he really did suck. He didn't have really any personality. All he did was have the ace cutter. That was pretty much about it. So he says and then CM Punk calls him pathetic after saying that he's basically jealous of him because John Laurinaitis never made it to this stage of the business where CM Punk is now without a suit and tie. And then basically CM Punk leaves. And then, to be honest, Mick Foley helped out John Laurinaitis in this ending promo, because if it wasn't for Mick encouraging him, saying you shouldn't take this, take that and all, I think the promo would have been horrible. And then John Laurinaitis says, I will screw Punk and I'm not pathetic, this, that, and the third, and then he gives the weakest mic punch to Mick Foley I've ever seen. It was like he was scared to hurt him. How are you scared to hurt a masochist? This man has fell off. This man went through numerous tables. He's went through a burning table. He's fell off a 15-foot steel cage through an announce table. He's been beaten so badly that his front two teeth came through his nose. And you're scared. It looks like you're scared to punch him in the face with a microphone. I'm pretty sure Mick Foley, even though after he's retired, could take a punch in the face with a microphone. Just saying. Alright, now moving on to TNA, and TNA is no longer watchable. Yep, they're no longer watchable. They had a nice 2-week run that they were watchable, but this Thursday was horrible. I can't even defend it. It was bad. The best match on the card was the cage match between Mickie James and Madison Rayne. Even though the cage wasn't used. But that was the best match that night. And Mickie James won that match. That was the best match on the card. I would just have you guys just go back and just YouTube that match, because that was the best match on the card. Everything else in TNA and Impact was horrible. Just even the main event for the #1 contender, it was James Storm versus Jeff Hardy. And again, for the second straight week, ended in no decision. Because Bubba Ray Dudley decided to take his belt and whip people with it. and then it was just bad. And then Robert Roode came out and then just beat up on Jeff Hardy some more. So it ended in a no contest. So what's gonna wind up happening is it's probably gonna be a triple threat match. Hence, that would explain why all three of them are on the poster for Genesis. Not Genesis, excuse me. Wow, Victory Road. Because TNA gives away what they're going to do. But on to bigger and better things. SmackDown was actually good. Well, more watchable than TNA. I enjoyed the tables match between Wade Barrett. Excuse me. Going back to what my previous statement, the match was against All Odds. Yeah, that explains why all three of them in the next TNA pay-per-view. Against All Odds, that explains why all three of them on the cover for Against All Odds. But moving back to SmackDown, I enjoyed the tables match between Wade Barrett and Sheamus. They had Sheamus lose to Wade Barrett because Jinder Mahal came out and distracted Barrett. But since there's no such thing as winning clean in a no DQ match, Wade Barrett took Sheamus and just threw him into the table that was lit up in the corner. Wade Barrett wins, and then Jinder Mahal tries to get in the ring and add some further damage to Sheamus, and then he gets bro kicked again for the 5th week in a row. And then Sheamus spine busters him through the table. Other side notes, a wonderful match between Justin Gabriel and Cody Rhodes. Both these wrestlers are tremendous athletes. They both had a great match, but I would have had a fancier ending. The part where instead of just having Cody Rhodes just flat out hit it was a great match. It lasted like 6 minutes, 7. But instead of having the match end with Cody Rhodes just hitting the crossroads out of nowhere, the spot where Justin Gabriel went for the turnbuckle splash, they should have had Cody Rhodes at that moment sensing that he was going to get body splashed, and then in an instant do the beautiful disaster and then end up for the 1, 2, 3. But I guess what I'm going for, that would be more of a PPB finish. So I guess if Cody Rhodes has a match against Justin at the Royal Rumble for the title, because right now Cody Rhodes doesn't have a title match. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, now on to the main event of SmackDown, which was Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry in a lumberjack match. And this match was good, but it ended in pure total chaos. Throughout the match, when Mark Henry would throw Daniel Bryan outside or to the outside ropes, Daniel Bryan kept yelling at the lumberjack, like, "Do not touch me. I am the world heavyweight champion." It was like, "You better not touch me." And throughout the whole match, he kept saying that and irking them on for the lumberjacks to hit him. So the 4th time when Daniel Bryan lands on the ring, they all just jump him and throw him in the ring. Somehow, Daniel Bryan manages to get Mark Henry on the outside of the ring, and Mark Henry's a heel, and everybody hates Mark Henry, so they all just pound on him. And so Daniel Bryan tries to take cheap shots while in the ring at Mark Henry, but he winded up hitting some of the lumberjacks. And then the lumberjacks came into the ring and were beating up on Daniel Bryan. Now the first thing that went through my mind is, isn't that a disqualification? I mean, are we having TNA moments on WWE? Because I know the lumberjacks are allowed to touch the opponents, but that's only when they're outside the ring. When they interfere, like come in the ring, shouldn't that have been a disqualification? But moving on. So they start pounding away on Daniel Bryan, and then Mark Henry realizes that his title's at stake. So Mark Henry throws 15 some odd people off of him, gets in the ring, throws 7 people off of Daniel Bryan, and goes for the world's largest slam on Daniel Bryan. And then Cody Rhodes interrupts it, and then all 30 lumberjacks jump on Mark Henry, and Daniel Bryan slowly, unnoticeably crawls out the ring and gets his World Heavyweight title and walks to the back. And then at this point, everybody's just fighting everybody, and it looks like the Royal Rumble. And then Theodore Long bumps into Daniel Bryan backstage and says, at the Royal Rumble, you will defend that title in a triple threat match between Big Show, himself, and Mark Henry. Oh yeah, and it's in a steel cage. So it's funny how both companies, TNA and WWE, one of their main events will all be triple threat matches for their main event titles. I find that kind of funny. Well, that's it for the scripted part of WWE. Now for the stuff that's unscripted. For those of you who don't know, Evan Bourne got suspended for 60 days starting January 17th for smoking marijuana. Because you can't do drugs while in the WWE. By the way, this is his second suspension. The first suspension, you get suspended for 30 days. WWE managed somehow to keep Air Boom with the tag titles without him being on television. Got suspended the first time. Okay, you think after the first time you learn your lesson. So he comes back, and then he doesn't even last 2 weeks, or he doesn't even last a month, and he gets suspended again for the same thing. Like, Evan Bourne, WWE is not going to test you again. As much as a good image that WWE has to withhold, being having associations with Be a Star and the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Tribute to the Troops, that they're not going to test you and suspend you again for you being on drugs? Are you... I don't know. But I just feel sad for Kofi Kingston because he's always in a bad spot. Like, first it was Randy Orton not letting him get his push. Now he's being dumped with Evan Bourne. And now Evan Bourne F's up. And that's because of him and his drug problems. And then because they're tag team champions, they lose the titles at a live event. Which in my opinion should happen more, because it would urge people to go to more live events, because they give the sense that anything can happen. So now Epico and Primo are World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Drama Scripted Saturdays. This is the only wrestling show where you get wrestling opinions and gameplays on the side. If you want to ask me questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But anyway, I'm Game Fiend Games, and I'm out of here, guys. Later, peace.
He had no chance, son. There was nothing he could have done. He had torch, boom, chainsaw, and a shotgun. Exactly, I'm exactly behind the wall. I was coming out of my field shoe.